Mystery boom mistaken for earthquake in Winchester, UK, January 27, 2015. Quote, an earthquake measuring 2.9 on the Richter scale has hit Hampshire, as hundreds of residents said they felt the earth move. Users on social media reported a tremor and a loud bang near Winchester shortly after 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, which caused buildings to shake. The earthquake struck at a depth of 3 kilometers. According to the British Geological Survey (BGS) website, Pam Logan, who lives in nearby Littleton, told the Daily Echo, "We were having our dinner when there was a terrific bang and the whole house shook for a few seconds. It was very disconcerting. We thought that maybe it was some sort of explosion, especially as we live fairly near to the army camp." Hampshire Constabulary said it had received lots of calls from concerned residents in the Kingsworthy area following reports of something which felt like an explosion which shook their houses. No injuries or damage has been reported. Hampshire Fire and Rescue Service called the earthquake, which happened south of the village of Headbourne-worthy, impressive, and also tweeted, "Seems like reports of small tremor in Winchester area this evening true. Our crews have been out and found nothing." Jan Gupta tweeted, "Our house in Winchester just shook enough to rattle glasses in the cupboard," accompanied by a boom sound, while Robert Hilton said, "South Wonston just got what seems to be an earthquake. Everyone out on the street. Car alarms going off and dogs barking." The BGS said it had received a report from residents who said the whole bed was visibly shaking, as well as one who said the earthquake sounded like a bus crashing into the neighbor's house at speed. Another told the BGS at least 5 other households ran outside to make sense of what had shook the houses. End quote. This is the signature of the mystery booms. Most earthquakes do not start up so abruptly and end short, and these are examples of normal earthquake readings. Notice the difference.
I've just been out for the night and for the evening. Came home, switched on telly, had a cup of tea, and suddenly it felt like there was this massive explosion in my roof, and I thought the house was going to cave in, and the house was shaking a bit, so I went out to see if anybody else in the street had experienced the same, and it wasn't just me, and there were other people, and we all communicated that that was really quite frightening. That was very loud. We've had them before in this area, but nothing that caused that sort of noise and extent before. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does sound pretty frightening. I mean, how long did it take you to sort of realise that what had happened was actually an earthquake?
Yeah, that's it, because I thought, oh, it's probably my gas or something, you know, something's exploding in the roof. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. And I went outside to see if there was anybody else about, you know, that it wasn't just me. And so I felt it was quite reassuring that our neighbours were out on the street and were saying, oh, you know, that was loud, and exchanging stories about it. So, you know, that was quite reassuring that it wasn't just me in my house.
Yeah, so Yasha, just to be sure, I mean, no one you know, no one in your street, that no damage has been done, no one was injured or anything like that?
Not as far as I know, no. I haven't, you know, I did phone a friend and she said, oh, that was really frightening. I haven't experienced it in quite that magnitude before around here. So, but yeah, so far I think everybody's intact.
The entire house shook. My daughter and my wife both jumped up out of their chairs, wondering what on earth it was.
All the glasses started shaking. It felt like someone had driven into the back of the club or something.
It was a big like rumbling, and the whole house shook. We thought the whole place was going to fall down.
Last time I had an earth tremor was when I was out in Cyprus, and I actually slept through it, so it was quite good to actually sort of feel one for a change.
So that's where all the police were. And it felt like it had hit me, so it felt like it was probably next door. It was that close. So my husband and I went round and checked the neighbours to see if they were okay. And then it was over, but there wasn't any smell. There wasn't any smoke, although kind of hard to see at night time. Probably about 9 police cars came through. So we assumed that it was connected to whatever the explosion was. We wondered whether someone's gas tank had gone off or dare I say it, a P-Lab or a shotgun. It was enough to give force. And then I saw on Facebook this morning, someone had said they heard it in Lyall Bay. So, still don't know.
Oh, there would have been at least 12, 14 cars. And the dog handlers as well, 2 dog handlers, armed defender squad going up the street. It was just this loud bang, which I thought it was we shook the house, jumped out of bed, the dog took off. It sounded like an LPG bottle going off. And that's what I predicted. I looked out over the airport and nothing, and then spoke to everybody out on the street, was looking around, waiting for see what anything. And next minute the police arrived, armed defender squad, and the street was cordoned off. And then about 11:15 it was all over, and there was nobody was injured. There was no ambulance staff were not required, and it was all shut down.